What is going on, guys? I am back with another episode of Game Grades following the Dallas Cowboys loss to the Seattle Seahawks. And if you haven't noticed, I have a brand new mic. The picture should hopefully look a lot clearer. I went out and bought a Logitech 4K webcam. So I'm doing anything I could do to kind of improve the quality of my videos. Definitely need to do something about this background back here, and I absolutely will in the near future. So I do have my notes right here with the game grades on it that I went ahead and wrote down, and we're going to go and jump into it and get started. So the first being the quarterback position, and I gave Dak Prescott a B+. To be honest with you, I thought he was really good, and I don't think really any part of the loss was on him. That interception at the end, I didn't even count against him. To be honest, he was just trying to make a play. I'm very surprised he wasn't sacked on that play and that he was able to keep his footing without a knee touching the ground. He's just trying to make something happen with that interception. That one didn't bother me. What did bother me and what kept him at a B+ and not an A or an A- was that interception at the end of the first half, and it was a boneheaded play. It's something we're not accustomed to seeing from Dak Prescott. He doesn't make mistakes like that often, because that was a pretty bad interception just because of the timing of it and knowing the field position and that kind of thing. Ended up letting the Seahawks score a touchdown there, and that one's kind of on Dak. So let's move to running back. Tony Pollard, I'm not counting him towards the grade because he didn't really get any burn outside of the kick returns, which we'll talk about later. Ezekiel Elliott really struggled all day. I'm giving him a D. I'm giving the running back position a D. Is he really deserving of it? Not necessarily. I don't think you could put a lot of that on Zeke. But at the same time, I don't know where I can really give him much credit either. He had the touchdown run on like the 1 or 2 yard line, and he didn't turn the ball over, so he had a couple okay runs. I didn't give him an F, but as far as establishing the run, we couldn't do it. I'm not sure if Zeke deserves all the blame. Like I said, a lot of it's play calling, not being able to protect for him, that kind of thing, not being able to block for him. But regardless, I gave him a D. We really struggled running the ball. Wide receiver position, I gave an A. If I believed in giving A+, maybe I'd give it A+. Could it have been better? Yeah, I mean, it wasn't perfect, but it was like the next best thing. It was pretty freaking good. So when you have your 4s and 5s stepping up and making plays, that's what we're not seeing at other positions, especially like offensive line, third-string players. Although Brandon Knight's had his moments. But as far as defensive back, those 4th and 5th string players making big plays like Cedric Wilson and Noah Brown were making on Sunday. The wide receiver position was definitely the most impressive position on the team. Michael Gallup had some tremendous, huge catches, and Cedric Wilson went out there and did his thing, and he was impressive after the catch. His speed stood out, and I really like what we see out of that wide receiver core, even when Amari Cooper isn't on the field. By the way, shout out to CeeDee Lamb. He's going out there and doing his thing as well. Tight end position, I gave a C+, and again, that's being a little critical because Dalton Schultz on that one catch looked really good after the catch, broke a tackle, made a couple moves, really nice catch. I think he only got thrown to a couple other times. One was a tough play to make. Maybe Blake Jarwin would have made it with his athleticism, maybe not. Another one I believe might have been a drop. So he didn't get a ton of targets. I might be missing on a couple things here. But at the end of the day, he impressed with that one play, and I didn't see much out of him the rest. Maybe I could give him a B, but I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing right now out of the tight end position. Hopefully it'll continue to improve throughout the year as Blake Bell and Dalton Schultz get a little more burn. Now we're going to move on to offensive line where it gets a little ugly. I gave a D, and it comes down to, and I've said this in the post-game videos, when you have 3 guys out of their position. So Joe Looney did play, so I was completely wrong about this. I thought I heard during the game that he was out for the game, but he wasn't. He didn't go out for an injury. He was moved over to right guard, I believe, and Zach Martin moved over to right tackle. which just kind of a weird setup. I would have rather seen Connor Williams make the move to right tackle. My point was going to be that Connor Williams is an everyday starter, and he was one of the guys just not performing. So we know Terrence Steele struggled. Brandon Knight, I thought I saw better things from Knight week 2, but we'll have to go back and look at the All-22 and read a little more up on it and see how he really did play. Guys, we could have given Dak Prescott more of a chance at the end of the game. I thought the offensive line made some mistakes. That final play is kind of on the offensive line. The interception, not so much, but Dak did not have any time in the pocket. I mean, they got pressure immediately there. And so the offensive line kind of choked, in my opinion. And I think we just got to expect more from them moving forward if we want to be this high-power offense that we know we can be. Moving on to defensive line, I got it split up between defensive end and defensive tackle, but I'm going to say I gave both positions a B. Why did I give defensive end a B when DeMarcus Lawrence, again, was basically a no-show, wasn't in on a lot of big downs, and I just didn't notice him making plays? Like I said, that's another position where we're really going to have to go back and look at the tape and see what that says. At the same time, Aldon Smith was probably an A+, right? He was awesome. He had like 3 sacks, getting a lot of pressure. And the defensive ends did do a pretty decent job at containing Russell Wilson at times, in my opinion. About as good a job as you could expect them to do. I would like to see a little more pressure from that 4 because a couple sacks were in coverage. But at the end of the day, I think a B overall for that position is a fair grade. Again, Tristan Hill, I like what I see from him. He had a couple boneheaded mistakes. The one was when he led with his helmet. I believe it was a tackle it was either Russ or Chris Carson. Maybe it was Chris Carson. And then the other one was the tackle with Chris Carson, and he kind of twisted his knee. And everybody's coming out saying it's a dirty play. I've heard Seahawks fans say it. I've heard Cowboys fans say it. To be completely honest, I don't have a strong opinion about that. I've also heard a couple things about the Seahawks putting a bounty for CeeDee Lamb. I don't know if that's true. Might not have any merit to it. But if it does, then what do you expect? I don't have a problem with Tristan Hill playing with a mean streak, but if he's purposely trying to injure guys, I'm not okay with that, and I'm sure the organization isn't as well. I'd like to think better of Tristan Hill that he wouldn't want to do that. He puts in the same kind of work and he knows everybody else does too, the preparation that goes into these games. I would like to think that he isn't trying to shorten anybody's career or put anybody on the IR. And outside of that, you're going to have to leave your comments, leave your opinions on what you think. Was it a dirty play? I mean, the consensus is that it was. So I don't know what we're going to do about that moving forward. I'm sure he's going to get a hefty fine. Sounds like he might not be suspended, but a lot of people are a little surprised that he's not being suspended or that he wasn't thrown out of the game. So like I said, I don't have too strong of an opinion on that. I'd like to hear a little bit more about it. I didn't play football. It definitely looked like he twisted on it a little bit. He's a big guy, and it's also an awkward position, so I don't know. I'm not saying he didn't. I'm not saying he definitely did, but give me your thoughts on that one. Outside of him at defensive tackle, Antoine Woods kind of reminded me more of the Antoine Woods, 2-3 years ago, where he was kind of making plays a little bit and looking like a promising future defensive tackle. And as extra defensive tackle depth, that's what I like seeing out of Antoine Woods. So I thought he had a really nice game. I wouldn't even be surprised if the defensive tackles were deserving of a little higher score. The one thing was they weren't getting consistent pressure to Russell Wilson through the inside. They were doing a good job. Defensive line did a good job overall at stopping the run. So I'll give linebacker credit there too. I thought the team did a great job at stopping the run. Even Darian Thompson at safety, who we'll talk about, run support was okay at times. Made a couple good tackles anyway. But as far as getting interior pressure to the passer, got to improve. Like I said, Antoine Woods had that one time where he did it. I think he got a sack, maybe got some pressure again, but overall got to get that pressure a little more consistent at the interior if we're going to have success against great quarterbacks like Russell Wilson. And I said in the post-game video, I know I'm kind of ranting about this, but we did make Russ uncomfortable throughout that game. So, I mean, we did do some good things on the defensive end, but I think the bad things definitely outweighed it and resulted in a loss. Moving on to linebacker, C+, I think, yeah, C+. I just didn't see them make enough, like, wow. I didn't see any wow plays, right? We didn't force any turnovers. Jalen Smith made a couple nice plays, especially when he was spying on Russell Wilson, but then there were a couple plays where Russ kind of got by him and he didn't do a great job of containing. But I don't think he played a horrible game. Again, the All-22 tape will tell all. I think Joe Thomas kind of outplayed him. So when Sean Lee comes back, depending on how healthy he is he going to be a better linebacker than Joe Thomas? I don't know that. I like what I'm seeing out of Joe Thomas. I don't know if he should be an every down starter, but he should definitely be getting snaps throughout the season. But linebacker that I noticed, and I might be missing out on some plays. Like I said, I haven't gone back and watched the All-22 yet. I'm not sure if that's been released yet. But from what I saw, linebacker wasn't the problem on defense. We'll move on to defensive back. I gave it C-, which I think I might be giving them a little too much credit. But there were times when we had a couple coverage sacks just because the coverage was so good. When it was good, it was really good, guys. I mean, we made some plays out there. But when it was bad, it was atrociously bad. Guys walking in for touchdowns, going untouched, nobody within 5-10 yards of them. Now, I put a little more harsh blame on the safety position. I gave them a D, and just Darian Thompson. And honestly, safety probably deserves an F. I remember one play and the run support where Darian Thompson came in and made a really nice tackle. But guys, I just don't like what I'm seeing from him in coverage as far as a starting safety goes. And yeah, hopefully we'll do something about that moving forward. But it's not too promising, to be completely honest. The way we talk about Earl Thomas, I think we're kind of over that. I think we're past that. It's not going to happen. Maybe later in the season we make a move on somebody else, maybe via trade. Who knows? Let me know your thoughts on that. Should we look at trading DeMarcus Lawrence, make like a Madden trade? Lawrence for a safety, maybe Lawrence and a pick, 4th-round pick. Who knows? Anyways, coaching grades. I gave Mike McCarthy a C. That might be being a little nice, but team made some adjustments. The game plan wasn't great, but it wasn't awful either. I just thought Pete Carroll did a little better. They just took more advantage. They sent more blitzes, that kind of thing. I don't remember any really stupid decisions from Mike McCarthy. So as far as a coach, if he won, I'd probably give him a B. So, or a B+ even. But he lost, so I think C's is probably the highest I can get for that, right? Kellen Moore, play calling, I'm gonna give a C+. And for a lot of the game, it wasn't bad. But what I didn't like is he kept trying to go to Zeke and the flats, or Zeke. I keep wanting to say Zeke. Sorry, guys. That's just a habit. Kept trying to go to Zeke in the flats, and it just wasn't working. And we tried it 3 or 4 or 5 times. We kept going to it, even the final drive of the game. And it was kind of driving me crazy. And just not being able to run the ball effectively. All in single back, it seemed like. No inside zone runs from shotgun or anything. So they kind of knew when the run was coming. I put a little bit of that on Kellen Moore. But like I said, there was a lot of good play calling as well. And to his credit, Dak had a monster game. Mike Nolan, I gave a D. And he did make some adjustments where the safeties were finally deep enough to cover Tyler Lockett in the end zone. And the guys played hard. And they were depleted at defensive back. And we are lacking talent at the safety position. So I'm not going to hold that against Mike Nolan. I like the adjustment he made, letting...
Now connected to bedroom.
Apologize for that, guys. That's Alexa. But yeah, so as I was saying, Mike Nolan, he let Everson Griffin go back to what he knows best, putting his hand in the dirt and the three-point stance. And I think that's good coaching, in my opinion. He made things a little more simple this week. It wasn't enough. And one of the problems was in the first half, we kept getting beat over the top. And that's on Mike Nolan. Why does none of the safeties know where to be? You can't get beat deep. So that was a problem with me. I would have also liked to see him send more blitzes. Like I said, sometimes we'd send 4 and we just weren't getting any pressure. And when we did get pressure, it was like a coverage sack. So the pressure was just inconsistent. Sometimes it was really good, and sometimes it was nowhere to be seen. So Mike Nolan, I think it's fair to say D, and my only actual F is going to be John Bones Fassel and the special teams unit. So I'm going to give the players the same grade as Fassel, just because I'm not going to go by punter, kicker, that kind of thing. It was all special teams. Kick returner starts with Tony Pollard. So that's on John Fassel, if you ask me. And first, I want to surface this with saying that I'm not going after John Fassel. I do think he's a special teams genius. I think we'll improve from here. This is just one game, but for this game, special teams deserved an F. So that's on him. Tony Pollard has no business returning kicks. I think we did it just to try and get him out on the field more, but it doesn't work. Got to move on from it. Probably Noah Brown and Cedric Wilson should be the ones doing it. Another one was CD Lamb returning punts, I believe. And he got hit, and it looked like a deer getting hit by a car. Like, I thought he snapped his leg. It was really bad. I don't want to see him returning anything anymore. Those kind of hits for someone with his frame, it just doesn't look good at all. He's 6'3", but he's pretty lean and fast. But yeah, like I said, it looked kind of like a car wreck. I did not like what I saw from that. The missed extra point, that's more on Craig Zerline than it is on Fassel. The second one that got blocked, we got to look into that one more. Was it just Zerline not having a quick enough trigger? Was it on the blocking there? You know, who's responsible for that one? At the end of the day, it was a pretty bad day for Fassel. He put the offense in a position to fail, just giving us poor field position, it seemed like, time and time again. Part of that's on the defense too, but at the end of the day, the defense were making stops. So as a punt returner, you just got to make sure you don't pin us on the 1 yard line or even the 5 yard line. And that's pretty much going to do it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Go easy on me with the grades because, you know, it's tough. When I haven't gone back and seen the All-22, this is just kind of like a morning after, just my opinion. So I'd have to really go back and see it to give a better grade for everything, but I kind of want to give more like a reactionary grade. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. And do me a big favor and smash that subscribe button for some more daily Dallas Cowboys content if you haven't already. And that's it for today, guys. I'm out. Peace!